Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Young and today my presentation will be on virtual reality and augmented reality. Now before we begin, has anybody here ever used a virtual reality headset or have done anything you require in augmented reality? Now I'm pretty sure we all know what a virtual reality headset is, but what exactly is virtual reality? Virtual reality is an artificial, computer-generated simulation of real-life events or situations. It puts the user in a state of immersion not only by stimulating their vision, but also their hearing. In this video, virtual reality is explained even further.
In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about virtual reality, how it works, and what all things you can do with the VR headset. But before we do that, let's talk about the ergonomics, which I'm going to be demonstrating with my Shincon VR headset, which is a pretty decent VR headset. But when it was on sale for just 30 bucks, I picked one up. Most VR headsets are made out of lightweight plastic, which is pretty justifiable for the price, and since you're going to be putting it on, anything lightweight is a good choice. The overall construction is also pretty solid. The front of the headset opens up and your device slips in right there. The headset works with any smartphone with a display size between 3.4 inches to 6 inches. So it's one of those few headsets that supports both smaller as well as larger size smartphones. It has this really comfortable padding at the front or at the back, whichever way you're holding it. So using this headset for extended periods of time was rather enjoyable. The faceplate is also detachable, so you will have the access to the speakers and the camera on your smartphone, which is going to help you to capture your own 3D content with the Cardboard Camera app. But the star of the show are the lenses. The lenses makes a moving two-dimensional object look like real-world 3D. But the cool part is, you don't need to download a separate app to see how it all works in coordination with your smartphone. You can do that straight from the YouTube app. YouTube currently supports virtual reality content, and the amount of content is constantly increasing, like this video of a roller coaster ride here. See the VR logo there? Simply tap on that and the image splits into two for both of your eyes. And you can already notice that the video moves with the motion of the phone, thanks to the gyroscopic sensor that comes in every smartphone. And that, my friends, does all the magic. Now it's really hard to explain what actually happens when the phone is in the headset. I mean, it's kind of those things that you'll have to experience yourself to get a full idea, but I'll try my best. Now once the smartphone is in the headset, the lenses in the headset help create this three-dimensional image of the content being displayed on your smartphone, as the lenses are super wide-angle lenses, so no matter wherever you're looking or moving your eyes to, you're going to only see the 3D area on your smartphone. Now the sensors on your smartphone tracks the motion of your head, which gives you this ultra-realistic three-dimensional space which moves depending on the movements of your head. And trust me guys, it looks and feels very realistic both distance and direction-wise.
Alright, now that we know what virtual reality is, who do we look for whenever we are getting a virtual reality headset? I have brought one in from Dream Vision by Zoomy, which you guys can pass around. But aside from that one, you can find them pretty much anywhere you go nowadays, at Walmart, Target, and other grocery stores that have items like it. Some examples of it, aside from that one being passed around, are the Samsung Gun Gear VR, the HTC Vive, the Facebook Oculus, and the PlayStation 4 virtual reality headset shown below. So now that we know what a virtual reality headset is, why would we use virtual reality aside from gaming? In this video, multiple uses are shown.
Elite Max presents 10 outstanding uses of virtual reality. 10.
Treating PTSD. One of the most surprising features about VR is the fact that it's become a prominent asset with medical advancements, both physical health and mental health. One of the biggest advancements VR has helped with is the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD for short. Traditionally, doctors use exposure therapy to treat the nearly 8 million adults who suffer from PTSD a year. What exposure therapy does is it pushes patients to recount their traumas, visualize it in their imaginations, and attempt to explain it to the doctor as it's happening, as they experience the stressful scenario. Now, virtual reality is essentially the same method, but using the capabilities of VR, this allows the doctors to create virtual worlds for these patients with custom elements. These custom elements, for example, can be things like adding in helicopters, machine guns, and missiles to help heighten the experience of what triggered their PTSD in the first place. It sounds harsh, but it's all a part of the healing process, as this method has proven to show results in helping those with PTSD. 9. Used for viewing homes. So in all honesty, it's still better to go and see the house for yourself before putting a down payment on it, but this option of being able to use a VR headset to view potential new homes from the comfort of your current home is incredibly handy. Before VR, this was actually an option, but in the form of virtual 3D tours, which don't have nearly the same effect as the VR alternative, as VR literally puts you in the house itself, so you can get a wider scope of the building before deciding whether or not it's worth purchasing. Again, although it's not necessary, it's still a useful thing to have if you don't have time to visit the house itself and want to get a closer look without wasting your time looking at crappy VR tours and photos taken from obscure angles. 8. Treating pain. As we mentioned, VR is pretty much a major player in the world of medicine and has proven to help those with both psychological pain and physical pain, as unlikely as...
Alright, now that we know all about virtual reality, let's move on to augmented reality. Augmented reality is a form of technology that layers interactive virtual scenarios atop an existing reality. It was developed in most apps to not only allow gaming, like Pokemon Go, but also provide accurate instructions in construction. This video explains augmented reality.
I think we can all agree that reality is pretty great. It's what we experience through our senses, like our eyes, and phones with cameras. The internet is awesome too, but the internet and reality have a hard time working together. Thankfully, this is changing quickly. New tools mean that the world around you can now be seen with a layer of new information from the internet. This is augmented reality, explained by Commoncraft. If you've ever seen a movie with a fighter pilot, you've seen the pilot's view from the cockpit, but something's missing. The pilot needs a layer of information that adds useful items to his view of reality. Recently, this kind of layer started working on your smartphone, but instead of flight data, you have data about the world around you. It's augmented reality. Let's say you're hungry and at a busy intersection. There are multiple restaurants around you, but you don't have a good way to make a decision. Now, thanks to new software on mobile phones, you can simply point your phone's camera at buildings around you, and voila! Restaurants are magically recognized, and a layer of information about the restaurant appears on the screen. Another example is shopping. You can point your camera at a product and see a layer of information about it, like prices of the same product at other stores in the area or on the internet. And this functionality only requires a few things. First, a smartphone with a camera to capture reality. Second, a connection to the internet for receiving the layer of information. Third, software on your phone to bring it all together. It also helps to have a phone with GPS and a compass to help establish your location. Augmented reality can also work with a camera attached to your computer. You can hold products in front of the camera and see a layer of information on your screen that makes reality more interesting and even fun. These examples are just the beginning. In the future, you may wear glasses that have a tiny display that you can see while walking. As you walk by stores, buildings, people, and products, this screen displays information from sites like Wikipedia or Google. Suddenly, your reality is richer and more interesting. It's coming, but augmented reality has a long way to go. Keep your eye out for ways that augmented reality adds layers of new information to your reality.
Alright, just like that video said, there are multiple uses for augmented reality, but there are also many ways to use it. They mentioned that you could use your cellular device, in the future augmented reality glasses, and now you can even get an augmented reality contact lens if you're willing to pay for it. The main thing that you need for augmented reality, like that video had said, was a camera and internet connection, and a GPS is optional. Now, why would we use augmented reality aside from gaming? We would use it mainly for construction, DIY car repair, learning to cook so we don't burn our food, and turn-by-turn navigation while on the road so we can see possible road hazards that are oncoming and any other weather-related hazard that is in the road. At that ends my presentation on augmented and virtual reality. Any questions?